Christmas is around the corner, so it's time to cozy up with a cup of hot chocolate and watch a good Christmas movie. In today's fun and festive video, I am going to be showing you some quirky phrases and some typical phrases in Portuguese using one of my favourite movies of all time. Now, it's not actually Portuguese, but one of the characters is, and it's her dialogue that we are going to be analysing. So if you want to get festive with me while practicing your Portuguese, give this video a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, seja bem-vindo. My name is Liz, and this channel, Talk the Streets, is all about building your confidence and conversation skills in Portuguese. So if that's what you're looking for, you have come to the right place. Hit subscribe to get notified when I publish a new video every week. So you've probably guessed it, the movie that we're going to be watching today is a Richard Curtis classic, Love Actually, which I watch every year and still cry every single time. As I was analysing it, I realised that it probably wouldn't really work today in 2021. There are so many stereotypes and fat jokes, but it is what it is. It's still lovely and romantic, and we can still use it to learn some Portuguese today. So our Portuguese character is Aurelia, played by Lúcia Moniz, and she falls in love with Colin Firth. Who wouldn't? She goes to work for his character Jamie as a housekeeper, and the first time we meet her, she's telling him that he really should turn down that croissant.
Se fosse assim não comia tudo, é que está cada vez mais rechonchudo.
I'm very lucky I've got one of those constitutions where I never put on weight.
So let's break down what she says there. There's a useful phrase for you. Eu se fosse assim. This means if I were you. Now, it's useful to note here that she is using the formal treatment to speak to him, obviously because he's her boss. If I wanted to say if I were you and I was talking to a friend, I would say eu se fosse a ti. So we will always follow this phrase with either the imperfect or the conditional tense. So here are a couple of examples, starting with hers and one of my own. Eu, se fosse assim, não comia tudo. Eu, se fosse a ti, andava com mais cuidado. So what about the other phrase? Cada vez mais means more and more. So she's saying to him, you are becoming more and more rechonchudo. This is a really funny word which means chubby. So for example, o Pai Natal é rechonchudo. So later in the movie, Aurelia ends up jumping in the lake so that she can rescue Jamie's book. And she has a good idea about what her reward could be.
I know, I'll name one of the characters after you.
Talvez possa dar o meu nome a uma das personagens.
This is a really good and easy example of when we should use the subjunctive tense. We know from this video that I made a little while ago that one of the times we're going to need to use the subjunctive tense is when there is doubt. So the word talvez, which means maybe, is a dead giveaway. So she says, talvez possas dar o meu nome. Possa is the verb poder in the subjunctive. So we see talvez and we think, gotta use a subjunctive. So now my favourite line of the whole movie is coming, and it gives us a good lesson again on how to be polite.
It's my favourite time of day. Driving you.
É a parte mais triste do meu dia, deixá-lo.
So the o at the end of deixá-lo is standing in for o senhor, which is the polite way of saying you in Portuguese. I've got another video about that over here if you want to know more. So instead of saying deixar-te, which would be informal, she's saying deixá-lo. But your question is, where is that L coming from, right? Well, there is a rule that says in Portuguese, I can't just stick an U or an A onto the end of a verb. Instead, I have to chop off the R and add an L to the ending. So this is the same as when we say politely to somebody, nice to meet you, prazer em conhecê-lo. This is quite tricky to get your head around, so if you want to know more, look up the RSZ rule in Portuguese, and if you want a video on that, comment below. Do you watch this movie every year like me at Christmas? Let me know in the comments if this is helping you finally understand what she's really saying. So next up we have the big romantic gesture where Jamie turns up at the family home and almost ends up marrying her sister instead.
Sr. Barros?
Sim.
Eu estou aqui a pedir as mãos de sua filha.
O quê? Você quer casar com a minha filha?
Sim.
Anda cá depressa, está o homem aqui à porta. Ele quer casar contigo.
Mas eu nunca ouvi mais gordo.
Mas o que é que isso interessa?
This phrase that the sister says is really, really funny. She says, mas nunca ouvi mais gordo. So this means I have no idea who this person is. I suppose it's kind of equivalent to what we would say in English, I don't know them from Adam. Seriously, there are so many fat jokes in this movie now that I think about it. When Jamie finally does manage to propose, her sister has a few more choice words to say about the matter.
Eu vivo aqui, ou tu vives na Inglaterra comigo.
Ai, mas é para a Inglaterra, rapariga. Pode ser que conheças o príncipe William, casas-te, mas é com ele.
Shh!
Now, I actually didn't know what this mas é in this phrase meant. I had to ask my Portuguese friends. They told me that it's kind of like an emphasis, but the kind that you would use when you're telling somebody off. Really, really stressing that this is what they should do. Vai mas é para Inglaterra, okay? It's kind of like saying, go to England instead, but it's really putting the emphasis on this is what she should do and not the other option, marrying Jamie. Terrible advice. So listen out for this colloquial expression when you hear your friends and neighbours talking and see if you can pick it up. If there is one thing that I want you to take away from this movie, it is you should be just like Colin Firth this Christmas. Take yourself out of your comfort zone and speak to your Portuguese friends, family and neighbours, and I'm sure they will be so delighted that you have tried, even if it doesn't go according to plan or you make a lot of mistakes just like he did. They will truly appreciate it and who knows, you might even get the girl. I hope you enjoyed this random little lesson just for some Christmas fun. And I hope that it got you in the mood for Christmas and also showed you that learning Portuguese can be fun if we're not using boring textbooks, but using fun things like movies, TV, and music to learn instead. If you want to learn more from me, I have a free lesson aimed at beginners down in the description. I would love to see you there. I'll be taking a little break over Christmas, but I will be back in January with more tips and tutorials to power up your Portuguese. So make sure you are subscribed so you get notified when I am back. Feliz Natal, pessoal! Até a próxima!